5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. I am grateful to the Board of Governors, Director and members of the staff of this Institute of Technology for having invited me to perform the opening ceremony of the building of the Institute this evening. Being a teacher myself, it is always an encouraging and stimulating experience for me to meet young men and women, students and teachers, who are engaged in the exciting pursuit of knowledge and discovery. It makes me feel happier and younger. I shall always carry with me the fragrant memory of the pleasant time I have spent in your midst this evening. I have been impressed by the considerable thought and hard work that has gone into the design and construction of this building, which I have had the pleasure to inaugurate. It had beauty without pomp and show and is eminently functional. It is designed to meet all the present requirements of the Institute and also to provide for further expansion without upsetting the general pattern. Its cost has been kept significantly low, and the speed and efficiency with which it has been constructed deserve admiration. I was also happy to learn that most of the execution has been done departmentally without any contractors. In the present position of our resources, we cannot spend heavily on buildings, much less on middlemen's profits or ornamental features which have little educational significance. I therefore welcome the emphasis laid in the planning and construction of this building on functional utility, simplicity and economy. I wish we could carry this emphasis still further in all our future constructions. The development of modern industry has been one of our significant achievements in the post-independence period. We have started several new industries and expanded older ones, and this has enabled us to reduce imports, to meet increased internal demands, and to promote exports in certain sectors. In this, as well as in building up of the defense potential, our programs for the development of technical education have made a significant contribution. In spite of the heavy weather into which these plans have recently run owing to a period of recession through which we are passing, I regard them as one of the more successful areas of our educational planning in the last 20 years. We have expanded most of the old engineering colleges because a bigger institution tends to be more economic and efficient, and also opened new engineering colleges. In the development of higher education, the essence of the strategy lies in creating, through concentration of human and material resources, a few centers of excellence where the highest standards possible are maintained. These centers are then utilized for producing high-quality teachers, textbooks, and other materials which, in their turn, help to extend the excellence generated in these institutions to others and ultimately to raise the standards of the system as a whole. The establishment of the Indian Institute of Technology is a good illustration of this process of improving standards in higher education. It has yielded good results so far, and if persisted on proper lines, it will eventually crown our efforts with success and help us to raise the standards of the entire system of technical education. I wish such programs could be developed in other sectors of higher education as well. While I greatly appreciate these attempts at improving quality, we have to be on guard against two dangers. The first is to ensure that this pursuit of quality does not push up the costs to impossible levels. I concede the point that good education cannot be had without a cost, and that a nation which desires to have good education should also be prepared to pay for it. But research studies have shown that the converse of this statement is not necessarily true. Very often, institutions where the cost per student is high show a poorer level of attainment than some others where the cost per student is much lower. It cannot, therefore, always be argued that an education which costs more is necessarily better. What often happens in practice is that costs of education mount up for reasons other than those of qualitative improvement, snobbery, lack of proper planning, or the adoption of obsolete techniques. Good scientific research, for instance, costs more money. But larger amounts can also be spent on providing marble floors to laboratories, or on the purchase of costly equipment which is only occasionally utilized. We have to ensure that such causes of increase in costs are avoided and that costs per student are reduced to the minimum possible consistent with the maintenance of the necessary standards. This will be possible through the adoption of modern scientific techniques, better planning, and greater human effort. The institutes should not be satisfied merely by maintaining the highest standards. They should also evolve techniques to avoid waste, to make the best use of all available facilities, and to reduce costs to as low a level as possible. This is an important aspect of the problem which I commend for your serious consideration.